day to day, we use this is very important for the our monitoring perspective. So normally we do our monitoring using the our manual checks like login to the manually executing login to the systems. We will execute the transaction codes and see whether system is responding or not. So see the dumps, all those things here. But so in the BTP, one of the service is called the Cloud ALM. Using this Cloud ALM, so we can also monitor the all whatever we do as a manual check. The Cloud ALM jobs will monitor, will throw the records here, will show the information and everything here, how the jobs are behaving, what is the my system status here. All the information will be displayed here. All our systems you have to integrate it here. So everything it will be displayed here. Everything it will be displayed here. So are there any requests? How many requests we have here? Right? So how many requests, front-end response time, back-end response time, clients, execution, everything we can monitor it in the systems here. Any expensive statement traces here, HTTP errors or anything here, any alerts are generated or not here. So all the information it will be recorded. All the information we can record it. So not only real user monitoring, so like health monitoring. Health monitoring means our system status monitoring. Normally we do this kind of things manually log into the systems. So by checking the all the information, we will check it out. All those things we will check it out here. All those things like ABAP license, S license, work process, SM50, SM66 here, number of users, AL08, transaction code, short dumps, any today 17 short dumps here in the system, ECD system, right? Certificates or anything, right? ICM, gateway related things, ABAP resources, dialogue, responses, memory status, batch jobs, finished field jobs here, NQ entries, SM12, CPU, memory. So you have lots are there here. You can see here the lots are there here, right? So here just in the one page you are seeing all those things here. One page in the dashboards you are seeing all those things here. The batch jobs also, jobs monitoring also we can monitor it here. Whether are there any jobs are failing or not, all those things we can monitor it in the systems, right? So alerts, KPIs configuration, chart notifications. So all those things we can configure it here. Suppose you want to configure this alerts to the, you want to configure this alerts to the your mailboxes. So you want to enable the KPIs, monitoring, thresholds, IDOCs, aborted jobs. If job is aborted, you want to receive the email notifications, all those things it's possible here. We can go to the here. So then we can aborted jobs, we can enable the filters here. So then so we can this one we can send it to the our mailboxes, emails, chat notifications, and the ticket, create the tickets in case of error received. All those things it's possible here, right? So this is the cloud ALM. Just giving the some information. Someone ask you, do you know about the cloud ALM? Means yes, I know cloud ALM. We can monitor the our operations related things here. Whatever we do as a manual checks, all those things we can monitor in the cloud ALM. Cloud ALM we can monitor it here, right? So those are the things we can see it here, right? So coming to the our portion. So coming to the our topic here today, it's a daily monitoring transaction codes here. Daily so monitoring. As a basis consultant, we have the some checklist here. As a business consultant, we have the some checklist which we have to execute on a daily basis here. So normally yesterday also when I joined one of the interview, they asked you what is your daily routine activities, what is your daily transaction codes, how will you monitor the your systems and all those things here. So these are the daily monitoring transaction codes. All of those are the daily monitoring transaction codes here. So we have to log into the our systems here, our production systems. So we have to execute the daily. We have to log into our systems and we have to execute the things here. We have to execute the transaction codes to get the status of the to know if any issues are before the business login. We have to do the monitoring of the all our systems and everything here. So the first thing is like a ST22 is the transaction code here. ST22. ST22 is the transaction code. So why? Because so all the transaction codes we have to monitor. First, this is not only this one. So any other thing. First, here ST22 to check the Is there any checking for the short dumps here? Checking for the short dumps. You have to go to ST22, check any last 24 hours, any short dumps are repeated. Yes, short dump is repeated, but we need to check whether repeated alerts are critical errors here. The short dump also, if the 100 below green, so there is some thresholds we will set. Nothing is there here. Then what we will do? We will set the today's date here. So as we will do it here in the time of the time. So we will have to monitor all those things here. So then so here, so we will do the all the work here. So daily every day we have to fill this sheet here. So none daily monitoring, none here. So right, check the last successful backups. Right, SM51 all the applicant servers are active or not here. Right, SM66, SM66, SM37, ST02, ST06. So all the transaction codes we have to daily basis we have to do that one. Daily basis we have to perform this one here. Daily basis, we need to check all the things here. So one is the ST22 is the daily transaction codes. Then SM21 we can see in the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, are there any critical errors? Are there any critical errors in the system or not? System logs here. Any high level, high priority alerts. So priority wise, we can priority wise high severity messages only. So then only high severity messages only it will be detected. So there are the multiple operating system call errors. This is the known issue. This is the operating system call issue is the known issue here. So this is a known issue. That is fine. Why? Because operating system call issues are known. If apart from that, is there any critical severity errors? Then these all are the warnings. High priority. High priority. So it's a very high priority. Very high priority issues are the very important. We need to check. Apart from that, this one, if any other things are there, we need to check why this is happening. Those things we have to check it out further here. Okay, that is the SM21, ST22, and so ST22 transaction code, then SM21 transaction code, then SM13. If any failed update records. If any failed update records, we need to check that part here. Suppose we go to the STE, we go to the here, if we go to the here, so SM13, if you see the SM13 here we need to check the are there any failed update records in the system or not. As a production system, it is very important. So nothing is failed. So no need to take the any action here. So SM14, you can check whether the update is active. Yes, update is active. No need to take the any action here, right? No need to take the any action here. Update failures here, right? So this kind of things here we can check it out here. Apart from, so here SM13, SM14, then SM15, SM51. So to check if any active application servers, SM51 will see, so how many application servers are there production? If all are active, yes. Then okay. If nothing, something is stopped and something is inactive, then so we need to take the action here, right? So that is called the SM51 here. Also, we can check SM50. Are there any long running work process here? So here you will see the, so if any work process 5 out of 5, 4 is free, 1 is activated. Background jobs, how many? So that is fine. Are there any long running jobs, long running work process? The status of the work process we can see. If any work process in the, so SM50 and SM66, we can check the work process status here. If any work process is in the so private mode or hold status, we can check the SM50, SM66 here. Okay. Then SM37. So for the long running jobs here. So we can go to the SM37 here. You see, are there any long running or cancelled jobs here? Any long running or cancelled jobs for yesterday? So last 24 hours here, we can check it out here. So just to remove the finished one, just check here any cancelled jobs. Yes, we have the some cancelled jobs which are related to the your cloud ALM related things here. Cancelled jobs here. What is this cancelled jobs? The plugin cancelled. There are some user related things here, right? So yes, we have the cancelled job. We need to mark as a, so some 4 jobs are failed. We are investigating the issue like that. We need to send the checklist here. Are there any long running jobs? just check the remove the cancelled also, only active we can keep it. We can see any long running jobs in the system or not. So no long running jobs. That is also fine in the systems here, right? So check the SM12 for any old lock entries, in the system. SM12 old lock entries here. In the system, if you observe it here, if any old lock entries here, which are older than 24 hours, right? So 24 hours. So see here, one of the lock entry in the 800 client. This is the 29th. It is started 29, 30, right? So it's a older than 1 day. So then we can take the approval. So then we can cancel it here. We can kill the, so we can delete the process here. We can delete the lock. We can delete it. But this is doing the health monitoring of the system. This is the cloud ALM related thing. So we can ignore it here. We can ignore it here. Like that, if any lock entry in SM12, so we can take the action here. We can take the action here. Okay. So like that. So in SMGW, if any gateway in SMGW, if in SMGW, if any gateways are there here, any gateway connections, see here, all are fine. Suppose like sometimes the connections which are older than, so 24 hours, 1 day, so 24 hours and something like that. That time we can, so that sometimes there is disconnection, any disconnected. Sometimes the status will be the disconnecting, something like that, which means that is not good here. Then we can close that connections here. We can close that connections. We can kill that connections also. We can do that one. That is the gateway related things. We can see it here. Gateway connections here. Right. So then, so the next one is the SMLG. SMLG is for, we know, logon groups creation. Here also we can see, we can check the response time of app servers, response time of the application servers here, SMLG. If we go to the SMLG, here we can check the response time of the application servers, how the system is responding here, how the system is responding. Okay, 250 milliseconds, average 257, 7 users, 250 milliseconds. It's very very minimal activities, right? Very minimal activities here, SMLG. Then we have the AL08, AL08 transaction code here. AL08 means all users. So here we can find out the AL08. Here we can find out the, are there any, so are there any so long running users here, or what is the memory, high memory usage? We can find out here high memory usage by the users. So what they are doing, we can find out here the high memory usage. People are opened the sessions, they are not doing anything in the system, right? People are just opened the session, they are not doing anything in the system, right? So high memory usage and all those things we can find out in the systems here, AL08. So then we can also see the ST, ST, ST02 transaction codes, like ST02 transaction codes we can say. These are all the we discussed. These are the daily monitoring related things are we discussed. ST02 also one of the performance related transaction code here. ST02 tune summary. This is called the tune summary here. In the ST02 transaction code, we can see the buffers, swaps, hit ratio. Tune summary means buffers, list of buffers, what there is their ratio, are there any swaps and memory things, all those things we can see it in the ST02 transaction code here. If we go to the ST02 transaction code here, so normally this is for the tune summary. Here we can monitor the how many number of so buffers are there. Buffers are like a temporary storage area in SAP systems. Temporary storage area in SAP systems here, these buffers. So the frequently the accessed data will be saved in these buffers. If the buffer, each buffer, there is some allocated space is there, that free is there, percentage is there, the swap size is there here. So if the swaps, when the swaps occurs, sometimes what happens, if the buffers does not have enough memory, enough space here, then immediately the swaps will occur. Immediately the swaps will occur here. When the swaps occur, the buffer does not have enough memory, the swaps occurs. Also, we can see the SAP memory areas, we can see it here. Physical phase memory, extended memory, and heap memory. So this memory areas, we can see it here. Extended memory, role memory, those things we can see it here. So ST02 is mainly for the buffers, tuning the buffers history and all those things here. What is the use of this buffers here? So always this buffer suit ratio should be the 99 plus, or at least 95 plus should be there. If the below, there is a performance issue in our systems. If the buffer hit ratio should be is below, there is a some issues with the your system here. There are some issues with the system here. Here itself, we can find out the when was the your last system restarted, right? What is the current time when it was restarted? You can find out the date and times here. So buffers, the buffers hit ratio we can find out in the at ST02 transaction code here, right? So here the mainly as part of the our day-to-day activity, we need to look at out the what is the status of the hit ratios here. This field and swaps field, we need to check it out here. If any swaps are occurring, then we need to plan to increase the buffer, or so we need to plan to do the some cleanup activities of the buffers here, right? So buffers here, buffers are like a temporary storage area. Program buffer, CA buffer, screen buffer, calendar buffer, OU, OTR buffer. These are the buffers here. It's are like a temporary storage areas here. Okay. So here we can see the all the information and etc, all the information and everything we can see it here, right? So we can also check the history. History tabs are available. What is the current parameters for this buffers here? Suppose foreground buffer. We can see the current parameters for the foreground buffer here. So foreground buffer, what is the current parameter? What is the size here? Then you can go ahead. You can directly go to the ST0. So RZ10, RZ11, just you can change the values of this buffer parameters. We can change it here, right? We can change the values here, right? The parameter. Suppose like if you want to change this buffer parameter value, we can also join the current parameter and we can do the changes of the, so these parameters, we can do the changes here, right? So we know RG10, RG11, we can do the parameters changes and everything. We can do it from here, right? Buffer parameter changes and everything here, right? ST02 is the transaction code to check the buffers, swaps, and hit ratio, all those things here. So why it is very useful means, suppose example, if you are, suppose example, what will happen whenever you access anything in the SAP system here, the first it will check the buffer. Suppose like this is the presentation layer, this is the SAP layer, this is the DB layer here. What will happen here in SAP, we have in the applicant server level, we have some buffers, means there are the temporary storage areas, means some bowls are there here, some storage containers are there here. SAP, whenever you access something here, suppose like you want some employee data, then when you search employee data, first it will go and search it in the buffers, respective buffer. If the data is there immediately, then it is hitting the buffer, then that is called the hit ratio. Then it is giving the response back to the users here. So then you are getting the anything. But sometimes what happens, it will go and check in the buffers, the data is not found, then it will go and it will go to the data is not found, then it will go to the your database level, it will go to the database level here, it will search everything in the DB level, it will search in the database level. If there is no data, then it will give the response back to the users here. It will give the response back to the users here. It will give the response back to the users here. Means first it will check the buffers. In case of data is not there, then it will go to the database level. It will search. Then it will give the response back to the buffers again. Then again it will give the send the response to the users here. Means one copy of data, it will store it to the buffer. That's why first time when you access any transaction code, it will take some time. If the data is not there in the buffer, it will take time. Suppose like example only. Suppose like PA30 transaction code, some transaction code I am using. See here how much time is taking. Like we can see the response time. So it's normal 94 milliseconds, fine. Apart from that, so MyGo transaction, some materials related, goods movement related transaction code. Let me enter it here. See here how much time it is taking here. Why? Because it is searching in the buffer. If the data is not found, then it is going to the database level. It is searching the call in the database level. It is pulling the data. Then till then, you see the response is like this only. See here how much time it is taking, which means the data which you requested is not found in the buffers. Now you got it. How much time? How much time you got it? It's 156 milliseconds. 156 milliseconds, you got the data. Right? 157 milliseconds, you got the data here. So again, you access, immediately you will get the screen here. See how fast you got the screen here. How fast? So how fast you got the screen here? See how fast you got the screen here. That is showing wrong. So how fast you got the screen here? See, right? So if you keep on accessing the same, so fastly you will get the screen. Previously, it's taken some time to load the data, right? Now it is getting the time. It's getting the it's getting the information here, right? So which means, if the data first time, if the data not found, it will store it. It will keep into the buffers. Then so that's why you are getting the high response times and everything here, right? So that is the way here, right? That is the buffers ST02 here. The next one is called the ST03 transaction code, ST03 or ST03N transaction code here. So this is for the checking the workload analysis, ST03 workload analysis transaction code here, ST03 ST03 or ST03 or ST03N. N means new. It's kind of workload analysis here. So this transaction code is used to do the suppose this for monitor the our system responses, average dialogue responses, GUI time, wait time, load time, all those things here. We go to the day wise or monthly wise or weekly wise, whatever you want, you can go the day wise here. Then you can check the day wise response here. What is the responses of the dialogue response time here? What is the our dialogue response time, average response time? Here we have to check the average processing response time. How much averagely it is processed your request here. Average response time we can see in the here. Here, so last 20, yesterday's one we have to see it here, or today's one we have to see it here. So like that, we can see that today's one. You can see that today's one, today 30 is as per the system time, not our time. So then you can see the response time here. You can see the response time here. This is okay, right? This is fine. So here response times we can see it here. Response times here, right? So so same here it should be not it's in the milliseconds. It's in the milliseconds here. Means how average system is responding. Dialogue work processor response time. That's why we have to check the dialogue response time. Why? Because here dialogue work process will process your request, right? Dialogue work process will process your request. That's why we need to look at the dialogue response time. We need to look at the dialogue responses here. So average responses, how much time it's taken to respond it here, right? So this is the one. So normally organization, they may put the 3 minutes more, then we have to flag as a red. Low, that is fine. If above, then system is not responding well. Like that, we need to check it out here. We need to check it out all those things here. So that is the one thing here. We need to check it out here, right? Means average response time. So this response time. So 4 minutes. Sometimes some companies, some organizations, 4 minutes. The response time more than 4 minutes or four more than 4 minutes. Means system is taking 4 minutes to respond to the user, which means it's a very bad performance. So then we need to look at what causing the issue and every time here, right? So see here, this is the yesterday's one. Here we can find out the transactions. Then what is the transactions which caused the issue here? Very high response here. Just you can filter. So then there is a periodic busy monitoring program, name of the background jobs here, right? So you can also check the which time frame you got the very high 9th to 10th hour. You have the very high response time in the 9th to 10th hour. What has been executed here? So this is the one of the report program got executed, which is very high response time here. Very high response time here. So that's one we can see it here. So that is the way we can see the check the ST03 workload monitor. Here we can check the last day response time. Suppose like if you go to the NW1, most of the people will use the NW1 system here. What happened? Anyone stopped NW1? So go to here. L so ST03. ECD also our people are using. Let's see. ECD system. So day wise we can check it out here. Here in the last Tuesday only. So which means the jobs are not running. They are the jobs which is responsible to collect the data. Right? So here you can see the response time is very high. Response time is used here. So you can see the response time here. Response time here. The 660 there is a response time here. So here the response time is very huge here, which means so 3660 milliseconds. If you convert to the minutes, it will give you the some information here. 3600 milliseconds. It will give you the some information here, right? So that is the one thing here. So here, dialogue response time here. Dialogue response time. If you double click it, the dialogue response time. So we can check the what is the transactions are executed here. So see here for this response time, just you can filter the top 10. So what is the main menu and who executed this main menu? So basis user. Okay. Then this is the who executed basis user. Okay. This log off request basis user. So see here response times, very high response times here. Which time profile you have? So 0 to 6 hour, fine. Which time profile? Which hour we have the high response? Then 21, 9 to 24, 9 to 12 in between night time. So we have the very high response, 9 to 12. But 9 to 12, what executed in the system? Who doing the so 9 to 12 hour, these are the persons are doing the work here. So what are the transactions are executed 9 to 12? These are the transactions. Someone executed the DBA cockpit here transaction. Someone executed this one. Someone executed trans. So multiple people, you guys are doing the work here. So here how the system is behaving for you. Then what is the response time here? Who are the top contributors in the systems here? In the transaction profile, we can see it here. Time profile, we can see it here, right? So then our user profiles, what are the users, how much response time, how many dialogue response time, all the information we can see it here. All the information we can see it here. These things we can see it in the systems here. These things we see it here. So I'm seeing here. Okay. Okay, this is the ST03 workload history. We will take it out here. ST03 workload analysis. We will take it out here, right? So like that, we have the some other transaction codes. It depends upon the organization. People will do the changes. We will adapt. Will change the monitoring sheet. Will add more monitoring things and everything here. So we have the so some other things like SM58 transactional RFCs here, then SMQ1, then SMQ2. So this is also transaction codes here, right? SMQR, SMQ2. So suppose if you go to the SM58, yeah, we need to find out are there any, we need to find out any we need to find out any stuck entries in the system or not. We need to check it out here. Yes, there are stuck entries. Then we need to inform functional team, respective functional team here. Then SMQ1 or Q2, any any entries got stuck here or not, we'll see it here, nothing is there here in the system, right? SMQ1, SMQ2, anything is stuck, so no entries, nothing is selected, it's great. Then SMQR, SMQS, fine. So SMQR, SMQS is fine. So but SMQS is not good, right? Which is the some red item here, red entry here. So which is not good here. So something wrong here. So we need to check why I think yesterday we configured this one, right? Why it is doing less this one. Maybe sometimes we need to reset the status here, reset the status, something like that. So we need to check it out, right? Then what other things we have as part of the daily monitoring? So let's check in the systems. ST22, DB related 36, ST06. Okay. That is the, so here sometimes we may have to check the ST01 tracing. Sometimes the people will enable the tracing and they will log off. The system keep on collecting the traces and everything. So we need to check the, so the trace is active or not. So these traces are for the, mainly these traces are mainly used for the, these traces are mainly used for the, so collecting the logs, more logs, collecting the system logs here. Okay, collecting the system logs here, more logs. Suppose you want to check the authorization trace, some other trace, RFC call, HTTP calls, any traces you want to check it out, we can enable the traces. People will switch on the traces, then they will forget to turn off. Then it will keep on collecting the logs, keep on collecting the logs, it will be overloaded, right? It will be overloaded. In that case, it will be overloaded. So then, so system will go trouble status here, right? So like that, we can check the status of the records and everything. We can check it out. So if any request from the functional or developers to enable the traces or the any, suppose like existing logs are not enough, so people ask you to collect the traces. Then we can go to the ST01, we can collect the traces here. ST01 traces. So that one is one of the monitoring activity. So but monitoring means we need to check whether the traces are on or off. We need to check it out here, ST01, right? ST02, ST03. So we discussed the workload analysis here, right? So that is the one thing here. So next one is called the ST04. That is the DB related transaction codes. DB related transaction codes here. ST04 transaction code here. So here in the ST04, we can see the database related performance monitoring. SAP related ST03, we can see it here. But database related ST04, we can check it out the SAP database related performance analysis. We can see it here. Database related performance, we can see it here. Performance related overview, process statements, logs, DB logs, DB memory, and statements, and all those things we can see it here. Database overview, all the things are there. Red alerts are any critical alerts, all the information we can see it in the systems here, right? That is the thing we can check it on the database related. So instead of this using the individual transaction codes for the DB related, so we have the transaction codes are called the DB related transaction codes. Instead of you use ST04, then then DB01, DB02, DB13, DB12, right? So DB12. So these all are the database related. Or what we can use the one simple transaction code DBA Cockpit. This is the replacement of the all the transaction codes here. ST04, DB performance related things we can see it here. DB performance, DB performance, DB01, DB logs, we can check it out here. DB02. So DB space history space related thing. DB13, DB planning calendar, DB planning calendar, we can check it out. DB12, check the backups here, right? So instead of you do individually execute the transaction codes, just directly you can use the transaction code. This will show the all the information here, right? Example, if you if you take the DBA cockpit, okay, DBA cockpit transaction code here. So monitoring means all the layers we have to do the monitoring. SAP level, operating system level, SAP level, DB level monitoring. So all those things. SAP level monitoring, those are enough. Maybe one or two left, I think. So yeah, gateway, SMICM. So those things also we need to check it out. But here the mainly monitoring perspective. So this is also DBA cockpit here. Here we can check the space. So we can check the space, performance, backup, and everything here. Instead of you go for same screen, you see same screen for same tabs are available if you go to the DBA cockpit, right? If I execute the ST04, if I execute the ST04, almost same transaction codes here, but it will directly open that performance, same transactions here. See here, same tabs are available here, right? If you go to the DB02 space, so same transaction code. The difference is here. If you go to the individual transaction code directly, it will open that related things here. But if you go to the DBA cockpit, it will open this tabs here. This pages also will open. It means you can access the data from DBA cockpit, or directly you can use the transaction code as well here. Directly you can use the transaction code as well here. Here in the DBA cockpit, here we can monitor the systems. How many systems are there? How many systems are configured in the systems? At DB connections, how many connections are open in the database level? So DB13 database calendar, we can see it here. Database calendar, we can see it here, right? So calendar means we can create the jobs, same as like SM36. We can create the jobs here. So DB related jobs we can create it here. DB related. Then performance related things. ST04 performance, like how the DB is behaving here, like how many database process. Database level means all the SQL statements, DB related things will happen, right? Everything will be the database level only. Whatever you do, whatever you execute in the SAP level, it will create as a SQL statement. It will execute the data from the tables here. What are the frequently used SQL statement here? E070, the transports related statement here. Database logs, DB01, DB logs, database logs. So DB01 means DB01, DB logs, we can check it out here, right? So if any logs database level, same as like SAP level, we can see SM12, DB level, DB01. So memory related things, we can see it here. Memory, database related memory, how much is the physical memory in that, what is the free average, all those things we can see it here. The average events, right? So those things we can see it in the DB performance. So you can also check the space. What is the current space in the database level, free space in the current space level. So free space is very less. See, 0.006% only we have left here, which means 49 MB is only left. So you can also check the single table analysis, large table analysis also you can do it here. What is the large tables in the database levels here, right? Which tables are the very big tables in the database level. SAP level, whatever you are accessing, each and everything will be stored into the database level, table level, database table level, it will be stored. So it will check the what are the largest tables in the database level here based upon the used, or what are the fast growing table, which tables are growing very fast, means which tables are data insertion is very high. So it will retrieve the data, additional backups, recovery, all those things we can see it here, right? All the information we can see it in the systems here, right? You can see here. So what is the which table? This is a VRXP Balda table. So there are some tables which are the very going very fastly. It is going very fastly here. Rapidly it is growing here, right? So history, we can also check the table history, database histories, and additional backups, whether the backup successfully completed or not. Backup overview, we can check it out here. So backups, we have to take it out database level, like configurations, jobs, any critical alerts in the systems. So all those things we can see it in the database level. This is the DB level related transaction codes here. Database level transaction codes, all those things we can see it in the, so DBA cockpit, or you can also execute the individual transaction codes also, you can execute it here. Individual transaction codes also you can execute it here, database level. Okay, to check the logs or anything. If anything is found, we need to we need to fix that issues here. You see, you need to inform. Now the space is very less, right? See here, the space is very less here. If this one, then we need to increase the space. We need to increase the total size or something. We have to increase it here. What are the OS level file systems here? Objects are there here. Schema informations, object, fast growing table. So database size history here, how the database is growing very fastly per weekly wise, per monthly wise, how the database is growing very fast, right? So table, how the table is going very fast here compared to the so monthly wise, weekly wise. So we can check the data, all the information we can see it here in the see this transaction code here. Okay. So it is a kind of monitoring of the all the transactions and everything here, right? So the next one, ST045, ST054 completed, DB5, then ST05 is for the SQL trace. ST05 is for the SQL trace here. ST05 SQL trace. If you want to take that SQL trace, how the SQL statements are behaving, then you can select that, you can enable the trace, then you can deactivate the trace. So then you can check the logs here, what's happening in the system or not. We can check it out here. You can check it out here. Just you can deactivate the trace. Can display the trace here and see what's happening in the system. So we can check it out here, what's happening in the system and everything. We can check it out here. Traces. So ST01, ST05 are traces here. So we need to check whether the traces are activated or not. We need to check it out these buttons here, right? ST01, ST05. Then ST06 is for the operating system level monitoring here. OS level monitoring, you don't need to log into the operating system level, check it out. Here itself, you can go to the ST06 and we can see the, so what is the system calls here? CPU operating system means what will be there in the operating system level? CPU, memory, disk, LAN, network, file systems, and everything. So we can see it here. Disk transfer rates, file memories, how much memory we have, free memory, all the information we can see it. Not only current one, we can also see the previous hours data also we can see it here. The previous data also we can see it. The previous memory also we can see it here. Previous disk utilization also we can see it here. The LAN utilization also we can see it here. So we can see the previous hours details also we can see it here, right? It's the operating system level monitoring. OS level history we can see it here, how the network is behaving, what is the physical memory usage size, RAM size, all the information we can see it here. All the information we can see it in the system. See, that is called the, that we can see it here. Okay. So that we can see it in the systems. Okay. That is the operating system level memory details here. So that is the one thing we have here. Okay, ST06, then ST07. ST07 is for the, this is not the daily monitoring, but here we can also execute the transaction code, but it's not the mandatory transaction code. Application monitor and user distribution, which means for each component, how many users are logged in, how many users are active, how many workflows are active, how many users are there in your systems, all the information it will be displayed here. All the information it will be displayed here. Test application monitor, load distribution, user distribution here. This all these things comes under the daily monitoring here, right? If you are not, but if you are the almost all these related things are the daily monitoring transaction codes here. Daily basis we need to check the transaction code, see what's happening in the system. If anything find out, we need to fix the issues here. We need to figure it out and we need to fix the issues here, right? That is the daily monitoring transaction codes here in the system. So to check whether how the system is behaving. So ST01, ST02, ST03, ST04, then ST05, ST06, CPU and buffers, right? OS level things here. ST03, SAP level workload performance and everything here. Then DB02, DB03, DBA Cockpit is the database level. So 3 layers we need to do the performance of the here, and also we need to OS level also we can do the monitoring, operating system level monitoring, which means OS level where the SAP is installed, whether we have the enough space or not here. We need to check whether the space issues or anything. We need to monitor all those things here, right? So this kind of things we have to do it in the systems here. This kind of things we have to take it out here. Operating system level things we need to monitor it here. Okay, this is the OS level monitoring and the details here. Okay. Okay, so here we have to do this kind of things in the systems here. Okay, so these are the daily monitoring, so which we have to do every day, each and every